Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about how I incorporate the higher time frame fair value gaps into my trading and how it has changed my trading personally. Again, just sharing my experience with you guys, what has worked for me and the way that I see the charts. So what you see on the screen is how I used to trade in the past, meaning I've got the highs and lows from the London session, the Asia session, and then I've got the daily open, I've got midnight open, and then I've got the previous day highs and lows there. And so what would happen is I would get into a trade, say it's a short, I get into the trade, click sell, it starts taking off, starting to move down, and then all of a sudden it just stops at some random area, not any of these key levels, but just stops and then reverses on me and takes off in the opposite direction. And same thing if I get into a long, everything's looking good, and then boom, the thing's like, nah, bro, we going in the other direction. And I'm just left like, what is going on? What happened? And so it wasn't until I incorporated these higher time frame fair value gaps that it completely changed the way that I trade. Now, this is not something I've done recently. I've been trading like this for a while. And again, just wanted to share my experience and my journey with you guys. If you use Fatty's higher time frame candles, this is a rendition of that. What I am also looking for as things are happening on the chart, I'm on the 3-minute chart here, is I am looking at where potential fair value gaps are forming or have formed. So this is the 30-minute and this is the hour. Now, right now on the chart, it's 9:30. So even though it's saying, yeah, you got one right here, it's not really on the screen yet. And you'll see that in just a second once we get to the 10 o'clock candle. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Actually, let me turn this on so you can see what I'm looking at now. So I utilize the 15. Let me just pull this up here. The 15, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour is what I watch with his indicator here, or the fair value gaps. So I'm inside of 15 right now. I'm bouncing off one. Am I going to go through it, or am I going to continue up? So that's what we're going to see right here. And so I come down again, looking to the right here. We just hit what potentially could be a 1 hour fair value gap there. It's not quite 10 o'clock yet. We're moving back up here, and now it's 10:03, and that 1 hour fair value gap is formed. So now we come down and we tap into it. We shoot back up. We tap into it again, and we start moving up. And then we go from there. Again, this chart here, guys, is from this morning. This is from October 7th. So this is today's chart that I'm looking at. And if you've seen my previous YouTube videos, if you've listened to me yap on X, you know how I talk about especially the 1 hour time for the 1 hour fair value gaps, how I really see those, how I look at those, and how I incorporate those as I am trading. So we're going to continue on here. We've tapped into it a couple times. Again, I'm on the 3-minute. Now we're moving up here. The other thing I'm looking at, guys, and I'm watching is, are we forming or potentially forming any potential order blocks, for that reversal entry? I'm also looking to the right. Do we have any fractal sweeps going on? I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm going to keep rolling through here. We're continuing higher. Now it's showing me, hey, you got another 15-minute fair value gap here. Continuing on. And now for the first time, really, I'm seeing, okay, well, there's a beautiful order block entry right there. It's already mapped the change in the state of delivery. We've got a fractal sweep, possibly, that's going on. So let's just see what happens here. And now we get that beautiful, let me just go ahead and zoom in here so we can see this. So now we've got a beautiful sweep on the 30-minute. We've got a beautiful sweep on the hour. Since I'm on the 3, I want to be focused on the 30. I'm also looking at this next candle, and I want to see what this wick does. Does this wick come up, up here? Do we get a short wick, which is going to give us a good indication of expansion? let's see what we get. And then now we break through this area of the change in the state of delivery, and we drop through here. And now what I'm looking at as this trade is continuing on is I'm looking at the projections. I'm looking to the left to see where areas of liquidity are. So I see it here, I see it here, and of course, on down here. I like to go shoot for 2 or 2.5. That kind of lines up right here with this hourly and 15-minute fair value gap here. And I took this trade earlier and actually got out. This was my take profit there, and I've got a little template that I use, and I had that marked up on my screen there. So that's what I was targeting. So we're going to continue on. I'm also, as this thing is dropping, I'm also looking at this 1 hour, and I'm seeing, okay, hey, has it tapped into this before, or is it the first time? Because if it's the first time, then I'm going to anticipate that let's see if I can do this right, that we come down and then we do this. I can never figure out how to work this thing. But if it's already tapped into it a couple times, then I'm thinking, okay, we're going to bust through and drive through this one, and then let's see what we get when we get to the next one. Again, my eye was on this, and especially down here. So we continue on. It blasts through that, comes down to these two areas. We've got a 1 hour and a 15-minute here. And then we get the move from there. So again, just showing you guys how I incorporate the higher time frame fair value gaps in my trading. I use this both on gold and both on NQ. I got a nice run on NQ today as well, doing the exact same thing. Just watching, what's there, watching what's potentially coming, looking to see, hey, has it been tapped into before, or are we going to tap into it for the first time? And like I said, you guys have heard me talk about this. Usually with the 1 hours, you will get 90% of the time you will get some type of reaction when it hits that 1 hour fair value gap. Again, I'm looking at order flow, I'm looking at trend, I'm looking at how are we looking overall in terms of order flow. I'm also looking at time, where are we at on the chart in terms of time. But this one played out beautifully, and it was just a matter of being patient and waiting for the setup to form. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. Most of you are familiar with this in the sense that you've heard me talk about this before. Others of you, this may be new. And so again, I'm just sharing how I trade, how I utilize the higher time frame fair value gaps. And sometimes my chart gets a little messy like this, but I don't mind, because at least it gives me a roadmap on what's possibly coming, while I'm in the trade. If we hit this and bounce, are we going to come back up into here, and then what's going to happen when I tap into this 15-minute fair value gap? Do we go through that? And it continues on from there. What's going to happen at that point? But my eyes specifically, and you guys know this, most of you, are on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. I do watch the 15, but the 1 hour especially with NQ. I'm learning how she moves and functions with gold, but I'm very comfortable with what's going to happen with the 1 hour on NQ when it does form. So anyway, just sharing with you guys. I think it helps tremendously. A lot of us are on the 5, the 3, and the 1 for entries, and that's great. I just think you also got to get up in the air, see the forest, so to speak, to see what's coming. Or if you want to, I guess, compare it to a highway, see what signs are coming down the road, see what exits are ahead, see what potential, turbulence areas could be coming with the trade. So, and then there's times, guys, where I may mark out the projection, but if I see a 1 hour, especially a 1 hour, if I see that ahead of me, and hopefully it lines up with the 1.5 too. Sometimes it may be just the 1.5, but if I see that and it hasn't been tapped into before, I set my take profit right at the top of that 1 hour, and then I get out. And most of the time, I see I will get this where it taps and then bounces off again. And I'm just thinking, whew, I'm glad I got out of that. Because sometimes it reacts hard and shoots back up. So anyway, like I said, just wanted to share that with you guys. That's just my personal experience. I know everybody sees and views the charts differently. All kinds of different ways to enter the market. And so I'm not saying one way is better than the other, just simply saying this is the way that I trade and use them or see the charts. All right, so this video is a lot longer than I anticipated. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get it uploaded, share it out with you guys. And if you got any questions, let me know and hit me up. All right, you guys have a great one, and I'll catch you on the next video.